Hello and welcome to the weekly Kashmir University Video Digest Quest. First, a look at the highlights. DSW holds a seminar on science and technology for specially abled persons. Valedictory function of Industry Institution interactive session held. And 74th General Orientation course begins. Now the details with your host Umar Malik. The Department of Students' Welfare organized a seminar on the topic Science and Technology for Specially Abled Persons. The event was held to observe the National Science Day. In his welcome address, Dean Students' Welfare Professor Fiyaz Ahmed said that the scholarships and schemes available for the benefit of the specially abled students are not given enough coverage and thus do not reach to the genuine candidates.
We tried to contact Department of Social Welfare because there are n number of schemes they have for these people, but probably the students or the masses are not informed about the schemes which are available, and obviously they don't get benefited. Similarly, we tried to have the people from Composite Regional Center, Bemina, who actually provide the aids to these people and then the therapy for those who can recover from some of the ailments. Similarly, we have a very good center at Sikkims. So we requested Director Sikkims to somehow inform the people whom we had invited, basically all the disabled persons, especially challenged persons who are on the campus or otherwise who could be contacted. We are requested to be the part of the program other than the university students, because the information which we would be getting or we would be having from these different departments or from the different directorates would somehow directly help us in knowing the different schemes, different programs, so that we could get benefited out of it.
Dean College Development Council, Professor Nilofer Khan, said that the University of Kashmir has a special cell to cater to the needs of specially abled students and suggested some steps.
I would like the DSW, let's prepare a vision document. Vision document can be of 3 years, can be 2 years, or can be of 5 years for our specially abled students. And Fayasab, I would just like to add a few comments. Let that slide presentation have gender segregated data. Very important, so that we come to know, what's the gender data we have. And number 2, enrollment of students in different faculties, because that will also help us, like our students taking more courses in arts. Are they taking in science? If not in science, have we to improve there, like that.
The Vice Chancellor, Professor Khurshid Iqbal Indrabi, on the occasion said that the varsity is evolving to the needs of the specially abled students.
We're growing up in terms of education. Our mindset is evolving to a point where we perhaps in, say, 3 generations from now, 4 generations from now, would be completely sensitive to the needs of differently abled or specially abled individuals. This university has done its bit, especially I must extend very warm thanks to Baba Saab for visually impaired individuals. We have tried to create a small facility in the library, and we have not been able to do as good vis-a-vis people who have difficulty walking, who have difficulty climbing. We have not been able to provide ramps and elevator facilities for them as much as we desired. We're working on that aspect also. All the buildings that come up now will be disabled friendly. Incidentally, we are making these small food stores, dhabas, and small washroom facilities for students, with dedicated facilities for all physically challenged and disabled individuals.
He said that every educated person needs to study a bit of science to illuminate himself.
This day, ladies and gentlemen, commemorated in the honor of Dr. Raman, who pioneered the discovery of Raman effect and in the end ended up winning a Nobel Prize in 1930s, is not necessarily restricted to getting ourselves reminded of how progress the world made in physical sciences, but in general, we have grown up to realize that our lives have become so dependent on advanced gadgetries to very primitive tools that we operate in kitchens, etc. Just to remind us that we have become useless without the use of science and technology. It used to happen earlier, maybe when I was young, that people would be able to survive without studying science. They would actually resort to studying subjects that had nothing to do with science. But it has become imperative that even a person who pursues literature actually has to have some basics of science and technology in his curriculum before he can actually flourish in his own field of specialization.
Director Sher Kashmir Institute of Medical Sciences, Dr. Abdul Ghani Ahanga, in his speech talked about the different aids available for the specially abled persons.
There are people who suffer from either cerebral palsy or strokes, and they are the ones who can really be helped by such reading screen systems. There are personal navigation systems for traveling these days available, and cars for such, even for blind people, and the ones with Google-driven cars are now a matter of just a time being available everywhere. We have another facet of robotic arm and bionic arms available, wherein your different components, not only digits or a particular portion of the hand, but a complete arm, which is just about 4 pounds in weight, that can really help in such people. We talk of cochlear implants for people who are deaf otherwise because of either birth problems or because of the acquired diseases. And these things are taking off very fast. Bionic eyes are available, which can help a person who otherwise has retinal problems, who can't see, who can't pursue the images. A bit of chip technology introduced into the brain, in the visual cortex, helps him to see whatever we really see with our own eyes. There are many other aids available for people who are not able to climb stairs, and there are such wheelchairs coming up which are really helping such people rather than going through the lifts or ramps. There are some chairs which are going to be developed in future where such people can have the benefits from such chairs.
Director Drug De-Addiction Center Police Control Room, Dr. Mohammad Muzaffar Khan, said that disability is more in the minds of men than in physical conditions.
I see it is a handicap on my part. It's a handicap on my part being an able person. I have not been able to design this stage as friendly to other people with some special abilities. It is a handicap to me as a doctor, to me as a director, to me as a policymaker, to me as a structural engineer, that I have not been able to design, I have not been able to see the things which are friendly to all. Any person who might have an impairment, who might have, like we see this lady in that video which was played just before the start of the program, though she does not have a limb, but she is still able to climb the mountain. There might be many people who have an impairment, who have a disability, but they are not handicapped. The handicapness is here. The handicapness is just because of their own psychological inhibitions. The handicapness is just there because of our societal inhibitions. The handicapness is there just because of the situational problems, situational hurdles, situational issues.
During the program, officials from DHSK, JKEDI and CRC Bemina made presentations on the issues confronted by specially abled people and initiatives taken by their departments to address these. Cultural Officer Mr. Shahid Ali Khan proposed the vote of thanks.
मेरे हिसाब से टाइम आ गया है जब हमें खुद अपने आप को पूछना है कि हम अपने आप को कितना हेल्प कर सकते हैं। इस ज़माने में, जिस ज़माने में हम रहते हैं, जब आपके पास मोबाइल फ़ोन है, स्पीड इतनी हुई है लाइफ की, आपके पास वक्त नहीं है और आप इतना वक्त ज़ाया कर रहे हो, चाहे वो ट्रांसपोर्ट में हो, चाहे वो कोई भी चीज़ हो।
The valedictory function of the two-day Industry Institution Interactive Session 2017 organized by Department of Food Science and Technology was conducted at the Media Auditorium. The Vice-Chancellor Professor Khurshid Iqbal Indrabi was the chief guest on the occasion. In his speech, Professor Indrabi said, "The educational courses that are oblivious to the market needs cannot survive."
I must congratulate Masoodi Saab. He is the only person who actually makes us proud in this aspect of how universities should function in terms of their role in bringing academia closer to the industry. And it's the buzzword of the day also, in the sense that you are not recognized if you remain oblivious to what the industrial demands are, especially in the programs where we actually cannot live without sort of having programs crafted and designed which are oblivious from industrial demands and needs.
Head Department of Food Science and Technology Professor Farooq Ahmed Masoodi stressed that the evaluation parameters of the Kashmir University need to be different.
My humble request to Honorable Vice Chancellor is that we have to relook at the system of evaluation of research or system of evaluating the academics or system of evaluating the departments. Of course, if it's a basic science department like physics, like chemistry, definitely we will rely on indicators like the number of publications, the impact factor of the journals and so on. But as regards those courses which are based on applied sciences like food technology, pharmaceutical sciences or agricultural sciences, our evaluating parameters should be different. To what extent we have been in a position to lessen the miseries of industry, lessen the miseries of the society. I think those should be made the parameters for evaluating our academic programs. I'm sure these submissions of ours will get due considerations while policies at university level are being made.
A quiz program was also organized during the session.
You have to name the cereal which has smallest starch granules. Answer is correct.
The winning team was facilitated during the valedictory function. The 74th General Orientation course organized by UGC Human Resource Development Center was inaugurated by the Dean Academic Affairs Professor Muhammad Ashraf Wani. The course is being held for the college and university teachers to acquaint them with the latest teaching trends and newer methods of pedagogy. Coordinator UGC HRDC Dr. Muhammad Isaaq Gir presented the welcome address and praised the participants about the schedule of the 4-week-long orientation course.
UGC has also specified what will be the course content. There are basically 4 components which cover the linkages to understand, to create awareness about the linkages with the society, with the development, with education, educational pedagogy, educational psychology, educational philosophy, and also the IT skills, communication skills will be imparted during this course. And there will also be interdisciplinary approaches to various subjects.
Professor Wani on the occasion said that the teachers need to understand that their basic aim is to add to the knowledge of the students.
We must try our best that I should leave this room with some kind of inputs that I have succeeded in putting across a new argument, some points that has added to the knowledge of the student. ऐसे कि आमतौर पर generally लोग क्या करते हैं, that it's very important that the teacher should first internalize the subject. If you internalize the subject, then alone you will be effective teacher. If you have not internalized the subject yourself, you will not be able to make an impact. जिसने अच्छी तरह से खुद subject को understand किया हो, वही दूसरों को समझाएगा ठीक तरह से. जिसकी understanding faulty है या very superficial है, उसने खुद नहीं समझा, वो दूसरों को क्या समझाएगा? That's very important. Then उनका ख्याल रखना है जो are marginalized in the class.
Director UGC HRDC Professor G.M. Sangmi told the participant that it's important to understand how to teach without boring the students.
We would have certain general classes also. My friends, you would not learn what is to be taught, but how to teach, how to act, how to behave, how to talk. You know, we are not saying that you don't know. But since you are joining a new profession or you have already joined a new profession, so some orientation needs to be done. Those who have recently joined, they need to be, we call that in management, induction program. What are rules and regulations of the service? Those things would be told you. And certain topics which are confronted by the society, maybe they are not relevant to your subject. But what a modern educationist or a teacher in higher education is supposed to know in the new milieu or in the new scenario, you are supposed to know that. And we will try to cover that, inshallah.
With this, we come to the end of today's program. In case you have missed some part of the program, you can log on to emrckashmir.com where you can watch the whole episode. Send us your suggestions at our email address quest@emmrckashmir.com. Before I take your leave, here are a few words of wisdom. You can never cross the ocean until you have the courage to lose sight of the shore.